All right, welcome everyone to the Connected Camp Summer of Minecraft webinar. Summer of Minecraft is a virtual Minecraft summer camp that is being organized by Connected Camps and the Institute of Play. So our Summer of Minecraft team has developed a set of challenges to help kids learn, code, and design and solve problems together in Minecraft. So this webinar is actually a third in the series of webinars for educators and parents who are interested in supporting learning with Minecraft and joining our Summer of Minecraft program. So today's topic is actually going to be how to design and All right, welcome everyone to the Connected Camp Summer of Minecraft webinar. Summer of Minecraft
I'm getting
is a
an
virtual
echo.
Minecraft summer camp that is being that's embarrassing, but that's fine. Sorry about that. I just had the window open in another place. But as I was saying, today's topic is how to run challenges and in-game events, and we'd love for you to spread the word. So if you're watching this, please take a moment to share it with your networks. For introductions, my name is Tim Young, and I'll be your host for today, and I'm joined with Seema, who also helps put a lot of the camp programs together.
Hi all, I'm Seema Patel. I'm one of the camp directors for Connected Camps, and I'm working on helping organize the camps and also interfacing with all of the awesome organizations that are interested in working with us and just seeing what they have to offer, seeing what we have to offer, and see how we can make something amazing together.
All right, so before we dive into our chat, let's go over a couple quick details. So to everyone watching live right now, you are welcome to leave your comments and questions through our Etherpad. And that link you can find below on whatever screen you're looking at. So whether you're on the educator page or if you're on our YouTube page, the link to the Etherpad will be in the description. And we'll answer all questions as they come in. And the final thing is, I guess I'll just pass it over to Seema right now, so who will go over some really basic structure, the basic structure of our camp.
Yeah, so just to go over our generic Summer of Minecraft schedule, our servers are going to be open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. in Pacific, Central, and Eastern time zones. So campers are kind of free to join when they'd like. And this is a great thing for organizations because they can kind of mold their camps according to whatever fits them best and fit our camp into it, since our camp is open at such a wide range. Along with that, we're also going to have counselors that are moderating the servers at all times. Not only are they moderating to make sure it's a safe, healthy environment for everybody, but they're also going to help mentor the campers, help them through challenges, and lead in-game events and various other things. Along with that, when there is downtime here and there on the servers, the counselors are going to be creating challenges on the spot, or impromptu things will be happening on the servers at all times. So not necessarily everything's going to be scripted and this is what we're doing ABC. It's going to be a wide range of things that are going to be happening. And along with that, we want to make sure to emphasize that we support all different types of play styles. So like I mentioned, our servers are open at a very wide range. So what we actually have people doing is we have some organizations that are running in-person camps for maybe 2 weeks, and they're going to join our servers for 2 hours a day throughout the 2 weeks, and then give their kids access at home that they can join for the remainder of the 2 weeks of our camp. There's also other camps that are doing a 1 week in-person session, kind of getting everybody onboarded, excited about the camp, and then the rest of the 3 weeks they're doing at home. So there is a wide variety of ways where you can fit this camp into whatever your programming is for the summer. Minecraft is a huge area that's in demand in almost every area that we're seeing right now. So it's definitely a great opportunity for various organizations to kind of get involved with the program in any way that fits them best. So that's a little bit about the schedule and how it all works and how flexible it is in order to fit any schedule, really. So going from that, I'm sure everyone's super interested in the types of activities that are going to happen on the servers and what types of things that campers are going to be doing. So Tim's going to go into a lot more detail, but just to give you kind of a high level, some of the main things that are going to be happening is obviously build challenges. So they'll build houses, they'll build castles, they'll build whatever they want to build. And there'll be different events that are happening. One of the big ones that we're thinking about is Minecraft Chopped, kind of a play on the Chopped TV show. So Tim will go into a little bit more detail on that. There's obviously adventure and survival gaming in the Minecraft game. There's actual challenge design. So not only are they going to be working on challenges themselves, but also designs of challenges and how challenges come together. What are different parts of challenges? So it's a lot to learn in this kind of gameplay type environment. And then last but not least, since we do have a fairly long camp, 4 weeks, they're going to be working on epic projects. A lot of times campers will start things and just want to continue building on them. They don't want to give up on them. They want to keep seeing how they can make it better and better and better throughout the weeks. So epic projects are kind of where they're going to be able to do this, where they can iterate on things that they're working on in a fun, collaborative manner with all of the other campers and even the counselors that are on board. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Tim, that's going to go into a little bit more of the details of this.
Awesome. Thanks, Seema. So before we go into a really deep dive onto what the activities are all about, there are a couple of key points to keep in mind and some things that we've learned when designing these activities and playtesting these activities. And first of all is that players become really invested in their creation. So like Seema was mentioning earlier, we have, camp counselors leading on activities and leading on challenges, usually at the top of the hour. And these challenges typically run maybe for about, we've been testing for 1 hour. We imagine these activity sessions will run 2 hours, 3 hours, a very small contained unit of time. But something that we find is that players become really invested into the things that they are making. So if someone is working on a build challenge, it's something they don't want to just put down and walk away and say like, that's it for me. They usually want to come back to it, revisit it, and keep building on what they want to do. So players are just heavily invested to anything they create into their world. Players will often kind of create their own narratives and stories to go along with what they're making. A really interesting thing you'll notice among play communities is like there's often like a history or some kind of society that people assign to their world, their town, their city, their creation, and that leads to that opens up a lot of awesome opportunity for for more creation, more learning, and more design. And finally, probably the toughest part about making all these challenges and activities happen in our camp and probably in your camp as well if you're interested in participating is striking a balance between structure and freedom. So Minecraft as a game is something that enables like a lot of creativity. You can do almost anything in it in terms of making stuff, creating entire worlds and universes for you to play in, but at the same time to run an organized camp, one that has a bit of structure to it, kind of balancing that without limiting the affordances of what Minecraft has for creativity and kind of doing anything as a player is a really tough challenge for us as staff members and designers, but that's something we hope to maybe partially answer today, and we'd love to hear your feedback onto how we met those goals. So as Seema was saying earlier, one of the most simple things that we implement into our camp program is build challenges. And, building is one of the fundamental, verbs that you can do in Minecraft. And how we kind of, push it a bit further to encourage collaboration among different teams and different players is kind of seeding some ideas for people to collaborate on. So some trials we've ran for build challenges are based around themes like build what you believe would be the eighth wonder of the world. What is the eighth wonder of the Minecraft world? So you can even extend it beyond like things that are based off reality. And it's really cool to see how people interpret different things, different landmarks, different historical events within this game world through these types of build challenges. And of course, famous landmarks falls under these build challenges as well if you want to kind of keep it grounded in reality instead of fantasy. We've had we've seen really cool creations like, the Space Needle in Seattle or the Statue of Liberty or like, you can go on YouTube or Google and just search like any major landmark in Minecraft and it's like 99% guaranteed it will show up. And it's awesome to explore the game as well. And finally, I think something that people really get excited about is recreating their kind of favorite pop culture locations. In a previous camp, we had people recreate the whole cast of Guardians of the Galaxy in pixel art, which was really cool. And, people recreating like, the famous worlds that they see on TV shows or their favorite video games and bringing it into the game and kind of learning the architecture and design of what makes their favorite things in pop culture click. So build challenges is really wrapped around you're in this world where you can do anything you want, you can build anything you want, but it's still seeding some ideas and still like getting the first couple blocks going before you get really invested in your idea and you're not just lost thinking like, oh my god, what am I going to do if I can do anything, right? And these are really simple challenges that you can start basing your camp activities around, right? So like on 1 week you can say, this week we want to build things like a castle in the sky, or we want to build a spawn town, or the town that all the players are going to inhabit, or we're going to build kind of a town square where people can come together and have community events. Kind of taking that one step further is what we've dubbed so far as Minecraft Chopped, and this is something that SEMA also helped put together the trials to kind of test out this design, test out the design of this challenge. And in this is very similar to a build challenge, except there's kind of one extra rule or challenge to it, which is players must incorporate very specific blocks. So very much like the TV show, they have a secret ingredient they have to put into their dish or meal to impress the judges. Players, divided into different teams, have to incorporate very specific blocks into their creations. So if they're building a roller coaster, we may ask them, you have to use pistons in your roller coaster, or you have to use redstone in your roller coaster. But you can use anything else as long as the theme is incorporated. The theme is incorporated in this build challenge. And this is actually something that really sparks a lot of creativity among players and team members and everyone in the server, really. Because at first, everyone's trying to figure out, how do we kind of dance around these rules? How do we incorporate these restrictions into our design? But what comes out of them is something really amazing and really creative, and something that I think surprises everyone when everyone gets to try out each other's creation. And there's a good potential for competition as well. So if you want some friendly competition in your kind of camp activities, this is the perfect way to divide people into teams and give each of them like a separate design restriction or like blocks that they have to use in the creations, and then have a judge kind of see if they met the goals of their design restriction or what they were trying to make. Seema, I don't know if you have any other stories about what came out of our camp trials in terms of this activity, because I think this is probably like one of the most popular ones.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like Tim mentioned, the possibilities are really limitless. Like we saw roller coasters being built underwater. We saw roller coasters being built through mountains. And it was just, these kids came up with these creations completely on their own. We gave them very limited guidance. Like Tim said, we would maybe tell them these 1 or 2 blocks you can or cannot use. And other than that, it's up to you. And it was really awesome to see how a group of 8 to 9 kids that have never talked to each other before were able to collaborate in this online environment just through chat and came up with some pretty amazing things and were able to help each other out along the way. So I think it's definitely a great way to see awesome collaboration with the kids.
Yeah, and like I said earlier in this webinar, like it's all about striking the balance between, the freedom to really do anything in this game, and also some kind of structure, not to kind of limit where they're, limit how people play in the game, but to kind of guide them to play styles that meet their own goals and meet their own sense of fun and creativity in the game.
Yeah, and just going off of what Tim mentioned is something that we've noticed on our trials, for example, is we'll open our servers about 15 minutes before the challenge actually starts. And it's interesting to see what the kids come on and do. Like without any guidance whatsoever, I think during the last trial, we had almost an entire town created. People were building houses and villages and all types of stuff without even any knowledge whatsoever about, hey, what am I coming on this trial to do? So like to mention, there's really no need for structure per se in the beginning, but it's a great way to help bring that collaboration together, because yes, they're doing things, but they're just kind of doing things on their own, doing whatever they feel like doing. But with these few guidelines and things, that helps the kids a little bit more get structured and help their creativity.
Yeah, it's a great way to introduce purpose into the community, like purpose into the things that they're building. So moving on for that, other activities that we were working with Institute of Play to design is a Ventral Survival activities. So this is more geared towards the game mode in Minecraft, where you have to harvest resources, you have to fight monsters, and kind of build your own shelter. And primarily, we make a lot of our challenges designed around the game's creative mode, where people have kind of unlimited life. They can fly through the air. They have as many resources as available, unlimited resources as available to them. Where survival mode, like I said, you have to mine the resources, you have a certain amount of HP, or, your character can be attacked by monsters and kind of lose all their gear if they lose the fight. So in this kind of mode, we found that assigning roles to different players actually helps people organize their own little communities and rally around a purpose in the survival mode, in which one person is dedicated as the fighter who's defending against the monsters attacking their village. Someone's the treasurer who kind of allocates all the resources people are bringing and mining in. Someone we dub as the alchemist, with a bit of a fantasy setting, who takes care of all the potions in the game to make sure people are healed, or potions grant people special abilities so they can go out and harvest, or be more defensive against monsters. And someone who's responsible for actually building everything in this community, in the survival community. And the idea of roles also kind of calls back to the other survival challenges we've been doing, as with the fact that we also seed themes and different design challenges for people to tackle, but I think also assigning roles to different players gives them, again, instilling them with a sense of purpose that they are very much responsible for one thing in their community, and it really gets them going. Players really step up and own the roles that they're given, and they really want to do the most that they can to contribute to their own community within their role. And it's really cool how people like allocate their time and resources within their community based on their roles, rather than kind of just someone who goes around and does anything they want. Like when you introduce this kind of role mechanic to them, really awesome things come out of it as well, when you expect like it to be kind of a restrictive thing. And again, it goes back to the balance of structure and completely free unlimited creation too. So kind of shifting gears back to more build oriented challenges, probably one of the more advanced activities that we run in the Summer of Minecraft is the Design Jam, and something I'm personally really excited about, because this is something that really explicitly asks player to employ the design process in their Minecraft creations. And this is something where we ask people to create kind of dungeon adventures, mazes, their own modes of games and play, even roller coasters. And we ask them to employ different skills such as prototyping, testing, and iterating. We ask them, to test their creations often, to test their experiences often, bring in a lot of different opinions and bring in a lot of different perspectives to make kind of their creation the best that it can be. And this is where like the player, this is where player investment really shines. People who are really invested in their creation and really want to see it bloom to something amazing, really take in all the different design tasks and all the different design challenges that are required, to really make the most out of the time on the server. And Sima, I think we ran this kind of with our counselors as a onboarding experience for them. And do you have anything to add on to the points on the slide?
Yes, I think Tim covered it fairly well. We did run this with our volunteer counselors that are actually going to be joining us on the servers, and they just had an amazing time. The time flew by so quickly, and they just didn't want it to end. So given our counselors had so much fun with this, I can only imagine where our campers are going to be able to take it. So it'll be exciting to see.
Yeah, and I guess I should probably also go over to this. This one's a bit more abstract, but I can run through a really kind of step-by-step process of how we implemented this. So this is kind of a combination of the Minecraft Chop Challenge, but also introducing kind of player influence into structuring the rules. So what we did is we kind of broke up a group of players into two teams, and then we asked both of them to pick two blocks that the opposing team had to use and ban one block the other team could not use, right? So say if Sima was team captain, I would tell her, Sima, you have to build with roller coaster tracks, and you have to build with pistons, but you can't use glass at all, or you can't use torches at all in your dungeon, right? And then she would do the same for me, and then they would build out these dungeon like experiences where players have to go through, fight monsters, and kind of loot different pieces of treasure. And then at the end of the time when the challenge ended, and this is actually where we find, even though players get invested into what they're creating, putting a time limit actually really forces them to make sure that they allocate their kind of a project management skill. They're allocating their time properly. They're dictating roles efficiently. And when players kind of switch places and play each other's dungeon or game experiences, this is where the activity really shines, where people who put a lot of time into their dungeon creations or their game creations kind of see where their goals were met and where their goals were not met, right? Where players are struggling with their creations, and where players are having a lot of fun with something that they made. And I think that's like one of the most rewarding parts of this design jam. Even though it's one of the most complicated things to put together, it's something I feel like is one of our most successful activities, and something that we're going to have a lot of fun with in the summer. So following that, I think one of the last things to wrap up is the idea of epic projects. So this isn't any one single type of project, but it's something that we're keeping in mind really closely, which is someone's going to start a project that we've talked about today, and they're going to want to work on that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 4 weeks. or maybe even months after the camp is over. And we're thinking really heavily about how to support that, how to, if they actually want, this is like kind of their baby and they don't want to take on anything else on the server, how can we still guide them in a direction that they're getting a lot out of their project, even though they're limiting the diversity of things that they tackle. So again, introducing ideas from the design jam, asking to iterate, share, test, and let a lot of people try their idea and have them refine it over time is something we're really going to be looking out for during our Summer of Minecraft program. Do you have anything else to add to this, Seema?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing I do want to mention is, to mention there may be some instances where these kids want to continue working on these projects even after our camp has ended. So one of the things that we're actually working on and hoping to provide more information probably mid-June is what's going to happen after our Summer of Minecraft is over. What's going to happen to the servers? How can kids stay connected on an ongoing basis? How can we work together with organizations to continue this relationship? So that's definitely something that we are working on right now. We definitely do not want to just, shut down the servers as soon as August 2nd hits and the kids lose all of their creations. So we are currently working on that, and we will definitely keep everybody informed as to where we're going and where we're thinking about taking this for after summer.
Cool. And the final thing, some final points to keep in mind is something that I talked a bit about in the design jam portion is we are looking for a lot of opportunities for players to drive the rules and kind of set their own goals on the server. So something we're actually expecting, so we have all these design challenges that we can deploy to players and have them engage with over the Summer Minecraft program. But what I personally feel is actually going to happen is they're going to kind of make the rules themselves, and we're just seeding kind of the ideas for them. So we're trying to find a lot of opportunity for when we create these challenges or we're making new challenges. At what points can the players intervene and kind of set their own rules or set their own goals that will impact how everyone else collaborates on the server, everyone works together on the challenge? And again, using the design jam as the example, what kind of themes can people introduce? What kind of themes can the players introduce that show what they're really interested in and show what kind of purpose they want to introduce to the server, right? So if all the players are interested in science fiction, how can they use that interest to drive the kind of build challenges they want to engage with, right? What kind of roles are they interested in participating in? If someone who is participating in the Summer of Minecraft program is really interested in becoming a game designer, what is their role in the design jam challenge in respect to other builders or other playtesters? And finally, one thing that we're really looking out for is server moderation. So people who are just really exceptional members of the community, how can they kind of step up and level up and become people who also moderate, become administrators and moderate the server themselves? And what kind of pathways are there to take through the challenges or other means in interacting with the community? So that about wraps up kind of everything we've been thinking about, everything we've been working on with the Summer of Minecraft program and the design. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments or anything you'd like us to address, feel free to leave them in the Etherpad and we can, we'll address them live, or we can get back to you if you leave some contact information or message us. But I think that about wraps up everything. At least I had to talk about CBAT. I don't know if you had any closing thoughts.
Yeah, I think that was the gist of it. Like to mention, if questions do come up and you're not on the Etherpad, feel free to email us at support@connectedcamps.com, and we'll be sure to get back to you with any answers and guidance on how we can work together.
Awesome. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we hope you came away with some useful tidbits about how we're running Connected Camps. And there's going to be a full recording of this webinar available immediately at connectedcamps.com. Basically, once this live stream ends, you can access the video. So please tune in next week. We're going to learn more about running specifically a coding camp within Minecraft. If you found this conversation helpful, please share it with your networks. And if you'd like to know more about upcoming webinars, we have a newsletter just specifically for educators. So if you go to our website and sign up for the educator newsletter, you're going to have all the updated information that we have specifically geared towards people who are interested in the educator applications of Summer of Minecraft. We're also developing a network of educators who will be part of our summer program. So again, let us know in the Etherpad by emailing us through our support line or applying through to be one of our educational affiliates that we'll be working with this summer. So thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.